Hi there guys, Sowerz here again with another question and answer video, and I tweeted out basically asking for some questions and I got quite a few in, so I'm going to answer them. But in the meantime, the gameplay in the background is a Deserter scrim against a German team called Divinely, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that in the background. And yeah, I'll get straight into it, I won't mess about. The first question coming up was from a YouTube question from the last Q&A, and it's coming off 911 Anarchist. He basically asked, have you ever played against Optic Gaming, and what do you think makes them one of the best teams? I mean, I've played against Optic Gaming once online, I've played them a few times online. And, you know, you can ask anybody who's played them or anybody who's watched them. You know, they've got players who know what it takes to win. They know they obviously understand Call of Duty very well, they're obviously really top players as well, but they've always had players with the overall package. I mean, when they had Rambo, probably they're arguably the strongest with Rambo. Until, well, with Nadeshot they obviously won UMG, but I guess until they win a few more events we don't know, you know, if Nadeshot's a good fill-in for Rambo or not. But you know, when they had Rambo, they had 4 players who knew what it took to win. They all had the right attitude. You can tell they're one of the more mature teams as well. And overall, it's exactly what you'd want in a team. Any captain would love to, you know, captain that kind of team. A team full of people who know what it takes to win. They've got the mental stability there. They've been there, they've done it. You get a lot of players who, you know, are really skillful and they're really good online, but it's not that they're connection players, but just some people aren't cut out for LAN. Some people go to LAN and they just haven't got the mentality and they haven't got the confidence in themselves. Whereas Optic, you know, they've always, you know, the players in the team, the Optic name basically it's just like, you always know the winners in that team and you always know they're going to be a strong team. So I guess overall what makes them one of the best is just the fact they know what it takes to win. They've got the right attitudes, and when you've got the skill, basically they've got the overall package, and when you've got the overall package, it's a team that's going to do great things. And you know, they've shown that for sure. Even on this game, straight away they're doing pretty well. But hopefully I've answered that one alright. But next question is coming off the Deserter Lucky, and this was actually the same question as a guy. These were both off Twitter. No, one was off Twitter, one was off YouTube, and the other one was off Arx MB. They both asked the same thing basically. What's my favourite AR and SMG, you know, attachments, things like that. My favourite SMG at the moment is the MSMC. I just roll with 2 attachments. The extended mags I'm favouring at the moment, and quick draw. AR wise, I mean, since the update, I'd say probably the M8 red dot is probably the best option. But I'm an SMG player, so at the moment MSMC with 2 attachments, and what I'm doing at the moment is I'm focusing more on having perks. So for now I'm not really focused on having 3 attachments, I'm more focused on having more perks. But we'll see as the things go along. And I am really enjoying V2 rules at the moment as well. Quickly just say that, but I wanted to do a separate commentary on that in another time. But I'm really enjoying it, I think it's a really good watch, and you know, it brings a lot more options in terms of classes. So I might do a class video actually someday, because you know, I think now it is a lot more worthwhile, whereas on Mod 3, you know, everybody had the same classes, so it doesn't really matter. But next question is coming off Tizer. He asked, what was your favourite team? No, what was your favourite team? Sorry. And who would you really like to team with in the future? My favourite team, I'm assuming you mean out of my own teams. I mean, I'm not in a team at the moment, so I guess I can be honest with this. Because when you're in a team, it's kind of awkward answering these. But SQR by far is my favourite time in Call of Duty with my team. When I teamed with people like Pathfinder, Sidon, and my brother. You know, back then, back at the start, every single online tournament match just meant so much, and it was never a chore like when you was playing back then. You know, there wasn't much on the line, but the scene was so much smaller 4 or 5 years ago, or whatever it was. But it was just so enjoyable back then, and that's when I enjoyed my time the most with Squad Recon. You know, a lot of you guys won't know who they were, but you know, those of you who've been around the scene for a long time might have heard of them. From game battles maybe, but yeah, that was my best time. In terms of who I'd like to team with in the future, I mean, I've always said this, it'd be nice one day if we could team with Americans, because you know, I've always wanted to team with Americans. I've always thought in terms of attitude they've got a miles better attitude. You know, there's some players that it's obviously it's a long shot in it, you know, team of Americans, because you know, time restrictions, things like that, people are on at different times and that. And plus with events as well, obviously makes it awkward. But it would be nice to team with Americans one day. In terms of Europe, I've teamed with most players, so really there's not really much to say on that. But yeah, I mean, you know, team with people like 4Play, those kind of people would be like a dream one day. But I could just never, I can't really see it happening anytime soon. I mean, I think there's only one player who's ever done that from Europe, and that's a Halo player. I'm not sure which one it was. They moved over to America for the MLG season. So I guess maybe one day in the future that something like that might happen, but you know, who knows really. But yeah, hopefully I answered that alright, because in terms of Europe, I've played with most players now. So next question's from Tom Brainbridge, and he's asking would I have a team back with my brother. And I've been asked this a few times, and I've kind of answered it a few times, but I'll do it again. But when I teamed with Luke, when we first started out, it was really good because we had a solid backbone to the team. There was me and Luke, and we always only needed 2 players, so it made it a lot easier trying to get, you know, a solid team going. That was going to be a top team. But over time, it didn't become as enjoyable as it was. It kind of became a bit of a chore. You know, things were coming out of games. So say if we had a bad night of gaming, we couldn't just turn our Xbox off and it'd be gone. You know, we'd still be there in the same house, you know, talking about it, what went wrong, things like that. So basically, we kind of, yeah, just since we split up, we've both really admitted that, you know, we do enjoy it more. We haven't teamed together for about a year and a half now, and it's just a lot less hassle in a way. You know, you focus on your own team, and when you've done scrimming, you turn your Xbox off and it's done with. You can get on with other things that you need to do, and there's no hassle behind it, kind of thing. So I think people who have teamed with brothers in the past, or you know, family members, will probably confirm that over time it does kind of take the enjoyment out when you're teaming with them seriously in a proper team. Next question is from the Papa Mac, and he asks, how many American teams do you think are coming EGL 9, and do you think EU teams have a chance of beating them? I think European teams have a very strong chance of beating them. We've proved on Mod 3 that we're up there in terms of skill. You know, I think people, especially in North America, they saw Optic's successes, and they kind of, because Optic watched the first couple of events they came to so much, North America were like, oh my god, North American teams are so much better. But then when other teams came over from North America, they didn't do anywhere near as good as Optic did. So I think that was pretty much a sign that it wasn't North America, it was more Optic that were on another level. So for this game, I think it's completely wide open. You know, there's no doubt about it that European teams can compete. We've proven that already. In terms of who's going to EGL 9, I'm not sure if Optic are. I heard recently that they're not, but I believe Freako are, which is John, Killer, Too Quick and Karma. So that's obviously like a top 3 team there from UMG. So that'll definitely help in terms of viewership, and hopefully, you know, with them coming over, that'll maybe bring someone like Complexity over, because they're quite loaded, I think, the organisation. And maybe Envy as well. So, you know, I think that I'm expecting some American teams there, even though it is in Blackpool, unfortunately, but that's how it is. Next question, I've probably just got time just for this one, but would you ever team up with up-and-coming amateurs? And if not, why not? I guess I'd never team with a full team of amateurs, and I guess like the players, I'd say there's only 2 cases really where I've teamed with amateurs, so to speak, like in terms of like up-and-coming players. I'd say Vintage when I was back in COD 4, and probably Zanity recently. They're the 2 that really stick out. Like Vintage was back on Call of Duty 4 wasn't as a top player as it was, but when we teamed with him, like, he was kind of unproven, but he really proved himself when we went to EGL for EGL 1 in Manchester. And with Jay, Zanity, obviously you guys will know him as. He was kind of unproven as well. I mean, you know, so I have done it before. I've teamed with players that are up and coming, but I'd never team with a full team. You know, you got to think of it, guys. Top players, they want people who are achieved already. They want people who are proven. You know, you always get people saying, "Give me a chance," but you know, we all started out at the bottom. Every top player started out the way that you are right now. We all started out. We all had to prove ourselves. So you know, you just got to take the opportunities when you get them. It's as simple as that. And if you're good enough, you will get spotted on there. But I'm going to wrap that up there, guys. And yeah, thanks for your questions, guys. There's a few that I didn't get to answer, but don't worry, I'll try and answer them in the next one. I'll probably tweet out again. So if you want to ask me any more questions, make sure to tweet me or comment below for your questions as well, because I always check the comments and things like that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please drop a like if you did, because all support really helps us out. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take it easy.